Is the crypto bull market over? That is the question everyone wants to know the answer to, and that is why you're watching this video. So in this video, we're going to get stuck into the charts and have a look at what the price action is telling us. And I'm going to tell you my exact game plan for navigating the crypto markets and show you everything I'm seeing. So let's jump into the charts and have a look at what the high time frame pitch up on Bitcoin is telling us. Okay, we know that Bitcoin leads the crypto market, and if crypto sells off, your altcoins are going to sell off too. And if crypto and Bitcoin moves up strongly, that's a really good indication that altcoins are also going to move strongly. So I want to point your attention to something really massive that's just happened today. Okay, what we've seen here on the weekly chart, okay, so we're looking at the weekly chart of Bitcoin. So each one of these candles represents 1 week's of price action, okay? We have just seen a weekly failed swing candle at all-time highs. And what this means is price has traveled above a previous swing point candle, swept a load of liquidity, and failed to close above it. All right, we'll zoom right in and I'll show you what we're talking about here. So we can see couple of weeks ago, this previous all-time high candle, this price point, last week we swept it, as in we went above it, yet we closed all the way back down here. Okay, this is a really strong indication of a reversal pattern in the market. And we can see the last 2 times we've seen this pattern play out on the weekly chart, we can see what's happened. Okay, the top of the market in 2021, we had a weekly failed swing, and the top of the first leg of the bull market in early 2021, we also had a weekly failed swing. Okay, so when price gets into this ranging environment, this is either reaccumulation for the next leg up, or it is distribution for a leg down in price. And which way it sweeps liquidity can really tell. Okay, if it sweeps liquidity to the downside, it's likely reaccumulation. If it sweeps liquidity to the upside, it's likely distribution. Okay, so this is our first warning sign that perhaps we have seen the top in the crypto markets. But we're going to dive in and look at a few more things, because a weekly failed swing means a reversal in the market. Okay, very likely that price is going to reverse, but how far it's going to reverse is another question, and we could look at some other things to get an indication of this. Okay, so back in 2021, we had this sort of a 2-stage bull market. Okay, it was sort of new for crypto to have this second leg in the bull market. Generally, crypto has a really impulsive blow off top, and then it really sells off into a bear market. But we had this sort of double top in the market, okay? And both times we had this really clear topping pattern with the failed swing. So what we're currently seeing in crypto, right, we need to pay attention and we need to flip our bias based on what we're seeing in the market. We have seen a very strong failed swing, which is a very bearish sign in the market. So I'm anticipating Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market is going to pull back, but how far is it going to pull back, right? Before we look at that, I want to zoom out at the big picture in terms of the cycle of the bull market and compare it to previous cycles, okay? History doesn't always repeat itself, but it can give us a really good indication of potentially what to expect in this crypto bull market. So one thing that's very interesting to note is the relationship between the Bitcoin halving and the crypto markets, okay? The last 2 Bitcoin halvings we had, so 2016 and 2020, the crypto markets have topped approximately 500 days, okay? 518 and 539 days post Bitcoin halving, right? So if we're looking at this as a bit of a time indication, 500 days past this Bitcoin halving in 2024 would actually take us to around September 2025. So if the Bitcoin market was to top now where it has, it would be the shortest bull market in history in relation to the Bitcoin halving, okay? So if this was the top in the market, this would be the first time it's happened so soon after the Bitcoin halving. So this is something in the pros column for a continuation of possible bull market continuation later in the year, okay? So potentially what we might be seeing in this bull market is similar to what we saw in 2021, is sort of this double impulsive leg to the tops, okay? So maybe we're going to pull back, consolidate, and move up something like this, which would take us approximately to September, which would be that 500 days. Okay, so if we just go and mark that with a line on the chart, approximately here, start of September. So if we're going by a time basis, okay, time in comparison with the previous Bitcoin bull markets, potentially this is something we're going to see. But one thing to keep in mind is how far this pullback is going to be. So we can look at some other indicators. And one here that's very powerful is the VWAP, okay, the yearly VWAP essentially the value area of price in 2024, this acts as a very strong dynamic support and resistance level. So we can see the top of the VWAP level in 2024 was around $80,000. So we can go ahead and mark the top of the VWAP, one standard deviation band. Okay, very, very, very important level, very strong. So if price was to come back to this level, this is somewhere that we could potentially expect a bounce in the market. Right, so maybe this is going to be something we see is a pullback, right? A little bit of a sort of a bearish trend back into this level, sort of retesting these highs, potentially for this next leg up. All right, so we want to be watching this level if we really break down from this current range. So very key level in the market around $80,000, but we can drop to even lower time frames to see some really more key levels. All right, so here we are on the 12-hour chart, fantastic chart for mapping Bitcoin on the higher time frame. So this is the local range we've been in, essentially the topping pattern we're seeing. This was the weekly failed swing we saw up here, which is also a failed swing on the H12 chart. And this is the range, okay? This range is a very, very clear range. Every time we've got outside of it, we've deviated it, okay, both to the bottom and to the top. So this is basically fair value and very rotational in the middle here, right? So first level we're watching is where price is right now. It's the top of this current range. Are we going to get some strength and bounce off here, consolidate some more, potentially moving higher? And maybe that is all that the pullback needed to be. Or, in my opinion, a more likely scenario would be get back inside this range, okay, this rotational environment, potentially come back down, sweep the bottom of this range down here, line up with this high time frame demand zone before potentially moving higher. So we've got our weekly chart that we can watch for those very key levels. We've also got some levels here on the 12-hour and the daily chart that we can watch. If we start closing below this range low, okay, below this demand zone on the higher time frame, so H12 and daily, that's a very, very strong indication that we're going to be coming back down to approximately this sort of 80K mark, which was that VWAP level in the market. Okay, so if we lose this level here, we can be looking for some short opportunities back down towards this level, and then we need to look for some demand around this level for potentially the next leg up in price. But we can also look at some other charts to get some indications of, is this the final top in the bull market? All right, now one chart that's very interesting is total 3, right? So this is the total crypto market cap aside from Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this is basically a chart of all of the altcoins, the major altcoins on centralized exchanges. So what we can actually see is in this market compared to the last, we've hardly made all-time highs, okay? We can draw a line from the previous all-time highs, and we've really only come up to the same level, meaning that the market cap at around $1.1 trillion is exactly the same as it was in 2021. And when we see a market grow, and we've seen how much Bitcoin has grown from its previous all-time high, right? You can see that extension from all-time high, you know, from sort of 70K up to 110K, whereas total 3 really hasn't increased in value. Now, one theory we can look at for this is in this market cycle, Bitcoin has really led the dominance. And another thing to keep in mind is how much money has flown into decentralized tokens. Okay, so DEX traded tokens that are not listed on this total 3 chart, so they don't make up a value of this market cap. Here we have seen a lot of money flowing into things like meme coins on Solana and decentralized exchange. So potentially the actual true market cap could be up here, the actual total crypto, which includes things like decentralized tokens. So this is an interesting chart to keep an eye on. Now, the other thing is we generally see this total 3, as in altcoins, really have a strong blow off top against Bitcoin. And we can look at the ETH BTC chart to get an idea of this. So this chart measures the price or the strength of Ethereum versus Bitcoin. In every bull market we've seen in the past, so the 2017 bull market here and the 2021 bull market here, we can see that Ethereum outperformed Bitcoin at the end of that bull market, meaning that people were taking profits from their Bitcoin, putting it into Ethereum and other riskier altcoins, and that really saw the dominance skyrocket. Now, in this bull market, it's just been down only. It's a disgustingly bearish trend on this chart, and ever since the bottom of the bear market in 2022, Bitcoin has outperformed Ethereum, okay? So this is the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, and it has shown massive weakness against Bitcoin, right? Never have we seen a crypto bull market end without this chart trending up for a period of time, okay? So this could all have something to do with the fact that the Bitcoin ETF has been approved, and money that is flowing more into the Bitcoin ecosystem, and potentially more money going into decentralized projects rather than those sort of blue chip alts that we traditionally see really do well in the crypto market. And in crypto markets generally, everything is about timing. Okay, so historically speaking, it didn't really matter what projects or tokens you invested in. If the market was going up and altcoins were doing well, pretty much all altcoins did well. Yet we've seen in this cycle, because of this chart, Ethereum has really underperformed. It's been very select individual altcoins that have performed well. We haven't seen the whole altcoin market rise together like we have previously. So potentially, if we get that second leg in the crypto market, potentially we get that pullback. If we get that second leg, that could potentially be a time that we see Ethereum outperform Bitcoin, and that could give an opportunity for altcoins to do quite well. And if we look at the Ethereum chart itself, we can see it's not a pretty picture. Okay, we haven't made all-time highs since the previous cycle in 2021. We've left equal highs here. We haven't had a big blow off top. And this is just a really, really weak chart, okay? So potentially if this can put in, maybe a bit of a ranging bottom, sweep some liquidity and move back up, that could line up with our plans of Bitcoin having a second leg. And also the Ethereum Bitcoin chart could help to the strength of Ethereum versus Bitcoin, which would help all altcoins in the Ethereum ecosystem. Okay, but how I'm playing this as a game plan for spot. Okay, so this is obviously about spot investing, spot trading. With our day trading, we really need to have a neutral bias, go into the market each individual day and assess what we're seeing on the charts, right? And just quickly, if you want to see what I'm posting and seeing in the markets every day, I've got a link to my free Discord below. You can jump in there and you can see some charts that I am posting, and you can stay up to date with the market. So let's have a look at the actual game plan for Bitcoin. So in terms of spot trading, so you're investing of your tokens, I feel like this is a very good time to de-risk and take some profits. Okay, we've seen a very, very strong sign of a bearish reversal in the market with this weekly failed swing and the sweep of the liquidity at this range high. So for me, de-risking spot position on altcoins. Now, I would much rather get back into spot if we show strength and close above here on the higher time frames. Okay, fantastic opportunity to re-enter. But if we continue to bleed off, then if we show strength down here, get back in, this would be another fantastic position to re-enter. But I feel like while we're in this ranging environment, after a bearish failed swing, this is not a time that I want to be sitting on a lot of spot altcoins, especially when they're really going to bleed out, especially if Bitcoin pushes down them. Okay, so either waiting for a break above this level here, re-enter on spot, or sweep at the lows, show some strength down here. And at this opportunity here, you'd be able to pick up some really good altcoins at a very discounted price if Bitcoin can put in this pattern. And we also want to see some strength down here on Ethereum and other altcoins to re-enter if this is what the market is going to be doing. But if you want to learn exactly the way I trade, I've got a link below to my premium trading academy. Okay, you get access to over 25 lessons, start to finish trading course, as well as lifetime access to the private section of my Discord channel where I post all of my trades, daily market analysis and everything like that. So if you really want to level up your trading and take it seriously and stop playing a guessing game in the markets, check out the Ronin Trading Academy, link below. And I've also got a discount code there because you've put in the time to learn with me here on YouTube. So I'm excited to see you in there. But in the short term, we really need to be watching these key levels, okay? I think this is a fantastic position here outside of this range to sort of de-risk on some altcoins. And if we push up above these levels and start closing above these highs on the daily chart, good opportunity to re-enter. If we come down below, get back inside this range, another good opportunity to re-enter. And if we break down even lower, come down to that VWAP level and show some strength here, this is also a really, really good opportunity to re-enter. So that's everything I'm seeing in the crypto markets. Like I said, if you want to stay up to date, jump in my trading Discord. Also, if you want to see everything that I do in live time, jump in the Ronin Trading Academy. And I'm excited to see you in there, and we'll see you in the next video.